In this video, we will learn about sexual reproduction. We have studied in our previous video that this is the type of reproduction in which two parents are involved. And in higher organisms, these are known as male and female. Whether it is plants or animals, basic event in sexual reproduction are same in both. The first important event is the process of formation of gamete. Male gamete, these are generally produced in large number. They are small in size and they are motile. On the other hand, female gamete, they are generally large in size, but they are less in number and they are non-motile. Now, male gamete, they need to be transferred to the female gamete because female gamete, we have done just now that they are non-motile. Next event is male and female gamete. They get fused. And this process of fusion of male and female gamete is known as fertilization. As a result of fertilization, a single cell structure, zygote, is formed. This zygote, it develops into embryo. So now let us study this process of sexual reproduction in all flowering plants. When we are saying flowering plants, I think this is quite clear that we are talking about angiosperms. A plant is having two parts, vegetative parts and the reproductive part. Flower represent the reproductive part of the flower. And in the flower, stamen and pistil are the parts which are involved in the formation of male and female gamete. Stamen is the male reproductive part. This produces pollen grains in anther. And inside the pollen grains, there is male gamete. Pistil is the female reproductive part. This produces ovule in the ovary. There may be one ovule or there may be many ovules depending on the species of the plant. And ovule contains the female gamete. Now in this flower, you can see different parts. This is the receptacle, also called thalamus. Green leaves of the flower, they are known as sepals. Sepals protect the flower when it is in the budding stage. The next and the very attractive part of the flower is petals. They are colorful, have sweet fragrance, store lots of nectar when pollination occurs by means of insect or birds. Otherwise, petals are white in color. Now see the reproductive part. The first reproductive part or the male reproductive part are stamen. This whole structure is representing a stamen. And in this stamen, you can see this upper part, below part, this is representing the anther, and this stalk-like structure, this is representing the filament. Similarly, this part is indicating carpel, the female reproductive part. In this, you can see this expanded part, stigma, then a tube-like structure, style, and then ovary, and inside the ovary, you can see the ovule. Now stigma, this is the receptacle for pollen grains. Pollen grain, they come and fall on this. And when they will germinate, suppose the pollen grain is falling on this, now it will germinate and the pollen tube will pass through this. Now this expanded part is representing the ovary, and inside this ovary you can see the number of ovules here. These ovules, they are also known as megasporangia. Similarly, in the stamen part here. This is the whole stamen. This is the whole stamen here, and this stamen is represented here. In this stamen again you can see the stalk-like structure that is called the filament, and the upper part, below part, this is called the anther. This is anther, and inside this anther you can see how many pollen grains are there, and these pollen grains, they are also known as microsporangia. Inside the microsporangia there are pollen grains. Now just now we have done that male gametes, they need to be transferred to the female gamete. This transfer of pollen grain from the anther to the stigma, maybe of the same flower, maybe of the different flower, is known as pollination. When the pollen grains, they are transferred either in the same flower or to the different flower but of the same plant, then this is called self-pollination. And when the pollen grains, they are transferred from anther of one flower to stigma of another flower of another plant, then this is called cross-pollination. When this pollination is occurring within the same flower, say this is occurring within the same flower, in that case, no pollinating agent is required. But when pollen grains, they are going to different flower, maybe of the same plant, maybe of different plant, then pollinating agents are required, which are helping in pollination, which are transferring the pollen grains. So these are the two differences in the self-pollination and the cross-pollination. The common pollinating agents are wind. With the help of wind, pollen grains are transferred. In such cases, pollen grains, they are very light so that they can be easily carried by the wind. This kind of pollination is found in all cereal crops. Water, pollen grain, they are discharged by the anther on the water surface. And you can see here, this is the female part. It is still attached to the plant. So by water current, the pollen grains are reaching to this. This is found in the aquatic plant Vallisneria. And a very common pollinating agent, birds or insects. Whenever pollination occurs by insect or birds, in that case, petals are very beautiful, attractive, full of nectars, have sweet fragrance, so that they can attract insect, they can attract birds. And when insect or birds, they are doing the pollination for them, then in turn they are providing nectar to them. Then after pollination, pollen grains, they are on the stigma, they are transferred to the stigma. Then if they are compatible, then a pollen tube comes out from this. Can you see this? Now the pollen tube is passing through the style here, and then it enters into ovule. In the ovule, male gamete and female gamete, they fuse and they form a zygote. Zygote is a diploid single cell structure. And this process of fusion, we have already discussed, is known as fertilization. After the process of fertilization, zygotes start dividing into embryo. The whole ovule get changed into seed, and the ovary, it get changed into fruit. So what exactly is seed? A fertilized ovule develops into a seed. You can see here monocot as well as dicot seed. Dicot seed is having two cotyledon in this. These cotyledon, they are storing the food for the developing embryo. All pulses, they are having the dicotyledon seed. You can see here, this is the embryo. So embryo size is very small as compared to the cotyledon, because cotyledon is the stored food for this embryo. Similarly, this is the monocot seed. In monocot seed, there is only single cotyledon and that is highly reduced. The main part of the seed, this is occupied by the endosperm. This is the stored food in monocotyledon seed. Here also the embryo is the small part of the seed. Maize, wheat, rice, all these are example of monocot seed. Gram, pea, groundnut, all these are example of dicot seed.